Morning, everybody. Well, I thought my tournament season was over, but here I am again. I just can't quit it. I'm on Lake Dardenelle this morning. Garrett Morgan put together a last-minute Arkansas state qualifier for the BASS Kayak Series Championship next year. That's going to be on Lake Fork, and man, I just couldn't resist. That's kind of a big carrot, Lake Fork, so I'm down here going to try to qualify for that. So came down one day last week. First time I'd ever been on Dardanelle. I've lived in Arkansas for 25 years now, and first time I'd ever been on Lake Dardanelle last week, and found some fish, but you know, it just was an inconsistent bite. It was just different way of fishing for me that I've never really done before. Kind of enjoy this way of fishing, but just looks different, feels different. Got on a decent bite a week ago, had about 74-75 inches with one pretty good quality fish. I came down yesterday and fished a different area, and I had 76-77 inches just within a couple of hours. So bite has been pretty tough. Just don't know. The area I'm in today, if it takes 80 to qualify, I feel pretty good about it. I think I can get to 80. If it takes 85, it's gonna be tough. The section I'm fishing is real thin water. I'm gonna go way up a creek. And I just don't know if there's enough quantity of the quality there. I know there's quality fish and I know there's quantity. I just don't know if there's enough good ones to get to like an 85-inch type of a bag. Other issue is, you know, I had never been here, and I can't hardly go into something blind. And so I went up this creek arm, and I was trying not to sore lip any fish, but then on the other hand, if I didn't catch any fish, I wasn't going to have any confidence of coming back to this area. So I caught a couple, and then I went a couple hours without getting a bite. And then I was like, I'm just going to fish until I can catch a quality fish. And I caught a 17.25, and I know pretty well where that fish is going to be today, and I really wish I would not have sore lipped that fish. So there's some of that. It's just a small area. And again, if I don't know if there's going to be enough quality or not, have one fish that was quality may not bite today. I hate that, but oh well, I'm here. I'm going to give it my best shot. I think this is my best chance to qualify is in an area like this. So I'm going to have fun with it. Nothing to lose. Just swing for the fences and hopefully have a good day. So came down with Tony and Taro. We stayed in a house together. So that was fun last night, hanging out with them. And yeah, just going to give it my best shot. So here we go. So I got about 2 minutes till lines in. Just want to say, you know, for me, and this is what kayak fishing is about. You know, I had about a 20-minute trip to get here. The last probably close to half a mile, I had to paddle because it was somewhere between 6 inches and a foot of water to get back to the mouth of this creek that I have no idea if I'm going to be able to catch fish in or not, but I do know I'm going to be here by myself. I'm likely the only one that's fished this creek in quite a while. It's skinny. I know where to locate the fish. Nothing wrong with the way that other people fish, but for me, this is what kayak fishing is about. Getting in these backwater areas that I know how to catch them. That's fun to me. That's why I'm out here, just to have fun. Sure, a whole heck of a lot more fun catching fish than not catching fish. This is the best way I know how to catch them. So a day like today, I feel good. This is what kayak fishing is all about for me. Hope I can pay it off. We'll see. Yesterday, I felt pretty confident I could have gotten to 80. I just don't know what it's going to take. I'm hoping that it's tough for everybody. Got a little cloud cover today. That may help the field. It's a full moon last night. I was anticipating things being pretty darn tough, but I don't know. This cloud cover may help. I hope it doesn't help because I want it to be tough. I think I'll catch my fish. Yesterday I caught a 17.25 and then like 3 15s, between 15 and 15 and a half. Really, I just need those 15s to be 16s today. If I can catch 4 16s and one, or even 3 16s, one kicker, and then one decent fish, here we go. I'm gonna be in business. That's a great way to start a tournament. Throw your spinnerbait up on the bank. I wouldn't recommend it. You guys know I don't see well when it's dark outside. So yesterday, or last week when I came, I got bit on a big white spinnerbait, and I had a pretty consistent bite on it in the areas that, you know, I felt like I was patterning. So I came yesterday with the same anticipation. I'm just going to throw that big spinnerbait all day, and I didn't get a bite on a moving bait all morning. And so I fished up this creek, and it is super muddy, super muddy. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it is very dark. And so I didn't get a bite on a moving bait all the way up the creek, but I was able to catch them and finesse stuff. So on the way back down the creek, I decided to put on this big black spinnerbait with one big single Colorado blade, and I caught 3 or 4 plus a big old crappie, so that was kind of fun. But I felt a lot better having a pattern where I can catch them on a moving bait, so we'll see if that'll hold up today or not. Dang it! Gosh, dang it! God! Damn it! So clearly this is a bad start, but I finally made it up to the log jam that I'd caught fish on the day before in practice, and I felt pretty confident that I'd be able to catch some again today. Yesterday I had caught 3 on 3 back-to-back casts, and if I knew if I was going to catch a fish, if I was going to get a limit, it probably was going to start right here in this log jam today. That's 5 fish and 5 casts plus a short one. So had no fish for the first 3.5 hours. And now I have my limit in 5 casts. Check my line, the small limit. So what's crazy is that yesterday pre-fishing, I came up to this spot and I cast in and I immediately caught a 17.25, and then I caught 2 more quality fish after that. Figured I have burnt this spot, but they're definitely still in here, a whole bunch of them. Just hope that there's still a couple of good ones in here too. 13 inchers aren't going to do me any good, but at least I got a limit now and I can, you know, try to be patient and get some coals. I have a feeling that fish I lost this morning was probably an 18, 19 inch fish. I know where he's at, so I'm hoping he'll bite this afternoon. Seven casts in a row. Nothing else, I'm gonna have fun doing this, I guess. Hope I'm not wasting my time catching these little ones. That's a 1/4 inch troll. God! So in practice, I didn't want to disturb this log jam, but I knew coming into tournament day, my plan was going to be to work my way through this log jam and then hopefully just find more and more of the same sort of stuff up the creek. So that's what I did. I went through this, and unfortunately, I got about 50 yards, and I found the next log jam, and there was no way to pass through it. So it didn't really benefit me. I did not catch any fish in the next log jam. I have no idea what it was about this one area, but that's basically the only spot I could catch fish all day. I wish I could have got through that next one. No telling what I would have found up creek, but unfortunately, I couldn't get through it, and that plan didn't really pan out. gonna be my spinnerbait I broke off earlier. Huh. There it is. That's crazy. So unfortunately, that was the last of the video that my GoPro got. Somehow my GoPro batteries aren't working real good, and what used to last me 10 hours is only lasting 8 or so. But anyway, it died out on me before the finish of the tournament, and unfortunately, that's when it kind of got exciting for me. So after, I got hung up here, I went on back down to where I started the day, where I missed that big fish, went all the way, kind of fished back down the creek to that area, got no bites, got all the way back down to that spot with that big one, still didn't catch anything. And it was about 1:30, and I thought, well, I'm gonna head back to the log jam again. It's the only place I had caught a fish all day long. Right before I got up there, I caught a 14 3/4 on a spinnerbait, and I got back to the log jam and caught 2 or 3 more small ones, but that was it. And so it was probably about 2:30, and I pretty much given up for the day. I was well out of any chance of qualifying. I was just trying to, fish for pride at that point. So I decided, I'm just going to fish a whopper plopper back down the river again. So tied on the whopper plopper, and I just basically was pedaling back down to the starting point, and just gonna spend my last 30 minutes just kind of pedaling and fishing while I'm going, but without really much thought of winning or trying to qualify at that point. It was just get done and keep casting while I'm doing it. And lo and behold, I hooked a 20-inch, a big old largemouth bass, and there was only 2 fish caught bigger than this all day long, and had that thing hooked right in the top of the head, and so it was pulling like crazy. It felt like an 8-pounder on the line. I just hate that I didn't get the video of it on the GoPro. It was a really cool bite, really cool fish, and that happened at like 10 till 3. So at that point, I culled all the way up to 79 inches. And when the standings went off, I knew it was somewhere around 80, somewhere in that range where that was qualifying at that time. And I thought, well, you never know. I still have a 14 in my bag. I've got 10 minutes. Can I find one more cull and make this thing happen? And so I fished really intense for the next 10 minutes, but couldn't get another cull. So I finished at 79 inches in the 10th place. I thought they were taking the top 5 as qualifiers, but it only ended up being the top 4. So I would have needed 84 inches to qualify. So if I would have caught that big one at the beginning, I don't know how big it was, but I feel like it was a solid, 17 plus inch fish. And then if I wouldn't have lost that one that I would try to boat flip, I think I probably had 84. It would have been really, really close. So fish clean, and I probably have a chance to make it. So, things I learned through this tournament. One, fish clean. I made a couple mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. It happens. You got to just regroup and move on. But, if you don't have the fish and all the bites, you got to fish clean on something like this to get it done. So didn't fish clean. Second thing I learned, this time of the year, it was November the 16th when this tournament was going on. Those fish were grouped up in my area for sure. All the fish I caught were within 10 yards of that log jam, except for that big fish. So I probably caught 15 at the log jam and 1 all the rest of the day. So they were grouped up, and I heard from a lot of the winners and my friends that were fishing that day too, and everybody said the same thing. The fish that they were catching were in 30, 40 yard stretch. So for me in the creek, that was the same thing too. They were all grouped up there in that one area. The last thing really I learned, I caught that big fish on the whopper plopper, never anticipating catching one. I had thrown it off and on all day for the last couple of days, and I hadn't gotten any bites. But one, I probably should have tried something a little bit slower top water. I probably should have been throwing a spook or something like that. And, in a tournament setting, it's so much different than if you're just out fun fishing. I need 5 bites. That's it. And so that one big fish, boy, if I could have caught 1 or 2 other really quality fish on that top water, it would have been worth it just keep it in my hand all day long. Even if I only got 5 bites, that's probably a better strategy than, you know, dinking around catching those 12, 13 inches on the Ned rig. At the time, I needed a limit, and I just needed to do something for my confidence. But, you know, hindsight, I wish I would have just put a big bait in my hand all day long and just stuck with it. So that's a few things I learned. It was a weird day. It was just so strange to go so long without any bites, and then that one area just be so loaded, but not be able to catch any good quality out of it. It was just strange. Felt like I maximized, if it wasn't for those 2 bites, pretty much maximized that area for what it was worth. Had a really good time. Fished a new lake. To finish 10th out of 47 on a lake that I had never seen up until this tournament, I feel really good about that. I'm improving. I'm getting better. I'm having a good time doing it. Caught some fish and had a good time. So thanks for watching. Hopefully that's the last one for this year. I'll see you in the spring. Thank you.